Hello, I'm Dr. Mike Smith of the Great Business Stories of St. Louis, Missouri, and today I got Nick Norman. Nick, thanks for joining us today, and tell us a little bit about your company and yourself.
Thanks for having me, Dr. Mike. Yeah, my name's Nick, and I started a company about 24 months ago called Polar Protector. We make accessories for stock tanks.
Okay, so let's get a little bit more details. So, stock tanks, what do people use the stock tanks for? And if you got a picture, feel free to share it during the interview as
Mhm.
well. But what do people use stock tanks for? I've seen it obviously, but I want others to know.
Yeah, about 3 to 5 million stock tanks are sold in America every year. So huge amount, and no one really makes accessories for them. They're primarily used for basically uh, containers for water for animals, for livestock, for horses, for cattle. But after COVID, things kind of shifted, and people started using them for backyards. Just these giant, they come in steel. They're like a steel trough, basically, or a rubber poly trough. And people started using them for cold plunges and raised garden beds and um, basically whatever your mind can come up with, you can kind of use it for an infinite amount of uses. People store grain in them, rain barrels, all sorts of things. And there was a significant lack of ingenuity in the category that basically I kind of mistakenly found. Basically, my wife and I, we do cold plunges and we torture ourselves, and we love it and we hate it. It helps with inflammation, helps with our lower back pain, all sorts of stuff. The Swedish have been doing it for thousands of years, so we figured there must be something to it. So we tried it. We got a stock tank from our local Ace Hardware, Tractor Supplies, somewhere, and basically put it out here in St. Louis in cold winters. The water kind of fill up with water and it freezes over, and you break the ice and you sit in it and you torture yourself. And the first thing my wife said was, "I want a cover for this. I don't want bugs getting in the water. I don't want leaves getting in there, algae growing. I don't want it getting all gross." And I've been an Amazon seller for the past 10 years and just doing different random products. And I was like, oh, sure, I'll just, find one on Amazon, buy it, no problem. Just a cover for a stock tank. Looked it up, looked everywhere, and they did not exist. So I was like, oh, there may be a market here. So my entrepreneur brain started working, and I got a prototype made, partnered with a few factories, and got a patent, and listed it online, and started on kind of Etsy, kind of the e-commerce area, and it was an instant success. It just instantly exploded. People were just organically searching this, and it just started snowballing more and more, and just sales were just going just further and further. And I was like, there cannot be this many cold plunge people out there. Like I was like, there's can't be. Something's going on. And so I started kind of Googling the addresses where they were being delivered and starting really engaging with my customers and asking, what are you using this for? How are you using it? And we were finding out that about 60 to 70% of sales were going to farmers and ranchers.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, and they're like, we use this for all sorts of different things, like cattle rotations or livestock rotations. We're rotating in fields, stock tanks just sitting there, water's evaporating, it's growing algae, mosquitoes are breeding in it, leaves getting in, it's getting all gross. We throw a cover on, 3 days go by, we put the cattle or the horses, whatever, back in, open it up, fresh, clean water instantly. Farmers are in stock tank in the middle of summer, depending on the humidity, you can lose up to a gallon an hour. So significant amount. So it really helps with evaporation, keeps all the water contained, saves a lot of water. And I was like, oh, this is a much bigger market than the cold plunge community. Okay. That's great. So I started kind of going to trade shows and asking what the customers kind of were looking for and needed in this area. And we have accessories for our cell phones, we have accessories for our cars, we have accessories for everything, but no one was making accessories for stock tanks. And besides a stock tank heater and a stock tank float, that's pretty much it. So we just started growing our product line, and it just kind of snowballed from there. And I'm trying to keep up day to day as a small business owner. So we're really excited where the future brings us.
That is one exciting startup story that you just gave us over the last 24 months. So, what are the products that you sold as an Amazon seller for 10 years? So you got a lot of experience in the Amazon, marketplace. So tell us a bit about that.
Mhm.
Obviously, that led into this, so I think it's an important story.
Yeah, so in 2015, Amazon was already a titan and it was just growing. So I was like, I just, there's a couple different types of businesses people can do to start up. They can, if you want to make 100 grand a year, after tax and be comfortable, live your life, open up an Airbnb in Vermont, like just a bread and breakfast in Vermont or something. That's great. That'll sustain you. You'll be a millionaire probably in a few decades. But if you want something that's infinitely scalable to shift your mindset, then you need something that it just casts a much, much bigger net. And I saw Amazon as that opportunity. And I'm not talking like sourcing a trash bag overseas and then putting it on Amazon. That is as a low success rate. So what I did was I started taking products that already existed and kind of customize them a little bit to niches. So we were my wife and I were the first people on Amazon to make hair scrunchies, but putting dog patterns on them. So like we looked up the 10 most popular breeds of dogs in the United States. And that's corgis, Chihuahuas, Labs, pugs, things like that. And we just started putting their cartoon little faces on a hair scrunchie. Scrunchies were going up in popularity in the late 2015 to now even. And it was a very instant success. We sold a lot of scrunchies, still do. And we then kind of started like tailoring towards sports. So like it's another thing, like women love wear hair scrunchies for sports, for basketball, softball, things like that. There's no hair scrunchies that existed with a print of that sport on this. We're like, let's try that. Again, did very, very well. And a few other little products here and there, but really Polar Protector was different. It really doing this for the past 10 years, I know if a product's going to do well, if it's not, if it's just this Polar Protector was just different. It was just such a growth that I was just trying to hang on for and trying not to grow ourselves out of business. And so yeah, that's kind of how it started, throwing up just random scrunchies on Amazon, a category that's so oversaturated, but we just changed one little thing about it and we were able to fit in there.
That is awesome. So were you the only, were you the only one that started making tanks? I think you said it earlier, tank covers, right? You started making those, you're the only one now. Have you had competition that's come on board from Amazon yet?
We had competition within the first 4 months. Like when it's amazing. The Chinese sellers on Amazon look, and they really, really dig into Amazon sales and what things are doing well, what things aren't, and they're very, very good at that. And so within a few months, we had instant competition, and it's kind of like whack-a-mole with that. So like we've had other sellers literally take our pictures and our exact listing and just copy, and you can't do that on Amazon. So we have to kind of knock them down, and another one will grow. But stateside, no, there's no one that has done this yet. We have the patent, so we're fairly confident in that. But yeah, as it just grows, more competition will grow. The cream always rises to the top. So I always say the best of the best will survive. And China's really good at copying a product. What they struggle in is understanding what that product is used for. So they don't know that crazy Americans and Europeans are doing these crazy cold plunges where they're torturing themselves in ice water, and they don't know to make like what we created a beer koozie, but for a stock tank. So we have a neoprene sleeve that goes over the stock tank. It keeps it all insulated. Great for cold plungers, but again, the farmers and ranchers are using it too to keep their water more insulated during the winter or summer months. So that's kind of what they struggle in, is what we need, and that's kind of where I can shoot in there and make my product.
Yeah, great. So that's great. And we'll hopefully see some pictures here towards the end of the visit. But so what was your biggest challenge? Obviously you sold these scrunchies and it seems like a lot lower cost to produce those. So you could go, create a gazillion of them with some different logos on it and what have you. So what are your biggest challenges? This is obviously a more expensive product. It's larger, bigger to ship, etc. And you said something earlier that I want to come back to. We don't want to grow ourselves out of business. Tell us a little bit about your challenges that you've had with scaling and doing those things, if you would.
Yeah. So two things come to mind just when I think of it. Two of our biggest challenges. One, is that so the stock tank exists and the retailer sells it, and the stock tank manufacturer sells it, distributors to retailers to whoever. And I'm coming to find out that they don't know where their product is going.
Okay.
They don't understand. They're having a hard time. For 40 years. They sell to farmers and ranchers, and that is still
Mhm.
their biggest market. But now things are shifting and changing, and the a residential home is now buying them also. So really communicating and educating the retailer, the distributor, that this product, there's a need for this product. We sold over 30,000 covers in just 24 months, communicating to them that, hey, we are making our way, like literally creating a new product category, and you need to get on this boat, because people are going to come to your store to buy an accessory for their stock tank. So if they're buying the stock tank already at the store, why wouldn't they just buy a cover that goes with it? Why wouldn't they just buy a mesh cover that goes with it if they need it for a rain barrel? Just all these other case uses. So really communicating that, and saying like, hey, this is a need, and also here's the science behind it. Here's every, we're having studies that are going on right now that are showing that, hey, this stops evaporation, it stops algae growth, it stops insects from being in your tank, all these different things. So that's probably challenge number one. And challenge number two is 1000% scaling. Scaling has been a pain in the butt. So I've never had a business that has grown outside of our home or garage.
Wow.
And this is the first time that's like, whoa, okay. So we need to, I'm getting pallet orders basically, and I can't ship pallets out of my garage. So we have to, take that next big leap and that step. And that's scary. That's scary for a lot of entrepreneurs to make that, because you either have to spend $1 million buying a plot of land, making your own warehouse, or buying your own warehouse somewhere here in St. Louis. That's super duper expensive and fun. And there's some other, more price conscious areas to St. Louis you could go. But all in all, you have to invest a lot of capital right away. And that's a big gamble. That's a big throwing the dice. And so then there's also the 3PL model, third party logistics, which is basically someone, a warehousing company that says, hey, we'll take your product, we'll take care of it, we'll ship it for you, but we're going to charge you. And, having someone trust, with that product, and it's shipping out correctly, and the SKUs and everything. Again, you're an entrepreneur, you've done everything yourself. It's hard to let go of that baby. So, that has definitely been the biggest challenge, is allocating capital where it's supposed to, not, it's getting too much inventory instantly because of tariff scares, or because of this is selling just so quickly right now. Is it seasonal? Is it not seasonal? We don't have much data yet we only have 2 years, and we're starting to kind of figure that out now. But yeah, just being an entrepreneur is like chewing glass. It's fun and it's great, but it's like chewing glass. You got to literally, put out fires every day. It's again, fulfilling work. Love it. I encourage everyone to be an entrepreneur, but it's going to come with failures and challenges that you just gotta learn and adapt.
Right. That is great. That's a great story. When you look at your business the next 3 to 5 years, what do you see in your business? Is this this may trickle off, or do you think about new products? How do you see your business in the next 3 to 5 years?
I see a few different paths, and it's kind of my choice. I think how I want to go. The stock tanks aren't going anywhere anytime soon, unless we just stop eating meat and stop having large animals, which I don't think is going to happen. So I think that stock tanks will always be sold, and there will be new cases of them all the time, new use cases. So something will come out, and a stock tank will be for something else. It could come out a trend. Joe Rogan or someone says it's sitting in a stock tank full of milk is great, and who knows? I don't have that crystal ball, but I do know that different use cases will come out. So making products for those. I have products for the next 10 years at least, that I can start and do that. And again, being an entrepreneur and inventor, I love being an entrepreneur, but I really, really love being an inventor. I love solving problems and having something that I can see in my head and creating it physically is is really, really powerful for me, and for it's what I do really, really well. So creating the new products is and not growing myself out and kind of pulling back the reins, being like, okay, let's focus on what's selling and not create, let's do only 3 new products next year. And so things like that, so I can keep growing it just like that, and keep kind of snowballing it and getting everything worked out and just keep trudging along like that. I can see that being an option. Also is that I think I've gotten a fairly good amount of interest, let's just say, from the stock tank manufacturers themselves.
Okay.
They see the value, and I could see that potentially a buyout or an acquisition of some sort, or a partnership, larger partnership agreement. Um, I could see that happening very soon. And a slice of a watermelon is a whole lot bigger than all of a grape. So I see that,
True.
I see that value in it also, and also realizing that time is our most valuable resource. Just you can't get more of it. It's just what we have, and so really allocating my time correctly and what I want to do and how I just want to spend my time is also important. And I have to navigate that. If, maybe a buyout or a partnership will free up some of my time, maybe that's kind of where I want to go. Maybe I want to not have to answer to anyone or do anything and own and time. So I could see those are probably my 2 best case scenarios that I could see happening.
Gotcha. So what's your number one issue today that you have to solve? You may have already said some about it, but what's your number one pain point today?
Scalability. It's getting in the right partner with the right warehousing, with getting these things shipped out in a mass. I mean, I'm bringing over shipping containers full of stuff, and that has to go somewhere. And Amazon's great; they're a logistic king. They're the titan of the industry, and but that also comes with the price. It comes with its own headaches, and so trying to also just kind of diversify that scaling, also to maybe partnering with a 3PL or a wholesaler or someone to kind of help with that scaling to where I can appropriately put capital where I need to. And yeah, and then education, just educating the retailers, these buyers, that people want this, they're searching for this organically, and they're getting it online. You need to be carrying this in your store.
So today, I've heard you talk about, in Amazon, and then they should carry them in their store. Today, are there store, and you can tell me if you want to, but are there any stores that are picking them up? I mean, there's chains of stores that sell those things, the different farm stores, but are there stores that are
Mm-hmm.
picking them up, and are they competitive with Amazon?
Yeah, so we're partnered with several different stores. IFA is a big one in Utah, Florida. Down, we have some Florida stores, we have some Arkansas stores. We're again, I am pulling back the reins, if anything, on getting deals with retailers, because
Right,
I can't be shipping out pallets out of my home, so I have to start allocating that,
right.
and we're just about there. So key follow me on LinkedIn or follow our Polar Protector pages if you want to kind of see how we scale and grow. But yeah, so yeah, we're in them, and they're doing reorders and everything, and I'm having distributors and people reach out to me and say, hey, we want to carry your product. I'm like, well, our inventory is really volatile. We're trying to get this in properly, so it's all a balancing act. I'm hiring staff. I'm trying to learn how to delegate. It's all a mush of being an entrepreneur, and quick, and all happening very quickly with just how I need to manage and delegate things.
Right, perfect. As you go through and think through that, what's a piece of advice you would give a future young entrepreneur who's going to try to get into the Amazon business? What advice would you give them?
With Amazon specifically, I would say um, be prepared. I see a lot of gurus out there that try to sell, like, be an Amazon wholesaler and things. I personally have never saw success with that. I have always seen success with creating, sparking something and bringing it to life and putting it on Amazon. And to basically just do your own research, mediate your risk how you want. If you're going to have to spend $5,000. It's just how it is on product and advertising on Amazon. Um, I would also just definitely just push for Amazon. A lot of people and who are entering the e-commerce space are like, I don't want to do Amazon. I'm going to do my own thing on Shopify or whatever. That's fine, but Amazon's going to push your product organically, and they do a really, really good job with that. And especially if it's a new product, they push it even without advertising. So they're just the amount of traffic on there is just crazy. So definitely give them a chance. You're going to have hurdles, you're going to have challenges. It's going to be like chewing glass. But persistence pays off, and you'll get there if you just keep pushing. Never take criticism from someone that you wouldn't take advice from. So just keep focused, keep in your lane, and just keep trying new things.
That's great. That's great advice. What was your experience before you were an Amazon seller?
I'm actually a zoologist. So I went to Northwest Missouri State University in Maryville, Missouri, the top west corner, and met my wife there and got my zoology degree. So I worked at the St. Louis Zoo for a while with the Somalian wild asses and grave zebras, um, and then I worked at the National Tiger Sanctuary in Branson, Missouri.
Great.
Woke up to a lion roaring every morning. It was great. Worked at Long Meadow Rescue Ranch here in Union, Missouri. So not too far from St. Louis. They are a division of the Humane Society that takes in abused and neglected livestock, animals, horses. If you see like a horse trailer that falls over on the highway, and they're the ones that kind of take them in and help them. And so that was really, really fulfilling work. So I've always been around animals, and I've always kind of been around these stock tanks. It's kind of funny that I went into this field not really. It kind of all circled back. It was weird. So I would have these challenges and struggles with these stock tanks from the get go. But now, as you get older and you learn kind of what your superpower is, everyone I believe has a superpower. Everyone has something that they are really good at, whether that's talking to customers, whether that's creating things, whatever. But me solving a problem has become something that I can really focus on, and I'm good at. I found out, and executing that is also one of the biggest challenges. People have great ideas all the time. It's execution that really is a challenge. So learning that and really harnessing it sky's the limit with it if you learn that about yourself.
That's great, and thanks for sharing that with everyone. I think that's a great background. I come from a farm background. My family had farms,
Oh, cool.
and the stock tanks. I've seen those forever, and it's interesting. So, are you one of them? I think about because I'm in several networking groups, and there's a lot of printers that are out there, right? So I think about all these, county and state fairs. Are you selling any of those to printers so they can print, the the Norman family farm, on the tanks and advertise or any of those things? Have you guys thought about that?
Yeah, so our stuff is that's a great part about the cover specifically in the neoprene sleeves is that we could print whatever logo anyone wants on it. And so we've had orders with a ranch in Montana that has literally 500 stock tanks, and they love their logo on everything, their ranch logo on everything, so they can order that from us. We get orders from also like literally county fairs for kind of covering the stock tanks that has like beer or ice, sodas in it
Yeah.
and things. And they just right now they're just using cardboard, and it looks crappy and it gets all wet and gross. So they order one of our covers and covers it up, keeps it hidden. We've had a lot of wedding industries actually order our covers because, again, put the ice in a stock tank, put beer on it, sodas in it, looks all nice, fancy, it's all the fancy decor. And but people go up to it and take stuff before the ceremony, during the ceremony or something. So they need a nice cover that looks clean and looks nice to go over it and keep that stuff hidden. So yeah, again, just like kind of there's so many use cases for stock tanks. People just don't use them for cattle and for ranches anymore. It's just grown to something else, and there's a drastic need for expansion in this category.
Yeah, so I did follow you. I saw you on LinkedIn. Very good. I saw your trailer load, your not trailer, but your container load of material coming in and doing
Mm.
all that. Can you share a picture up there with us so we can let everybody see your logo and what that looks like? I know what it is, you know what it is, but I think it's unique for our viewers to see.
Share
Let me
our website here.
give you the ability to share here. All right, we're gonna let.
Here we
Nick,
go.
share the picture and the logo because sometimes we have those in background, sometimes we don't. But to me, it's good to have it.
Can you see that?
Yeah, we can see it. That's great.
Yes. This is our website. This is kind of a farmer putting on one of their stock tanks. Is just kind of what it is. We even do hot tub covers for the ice plunge community. Really needed this. They wanted a nice hot tub cover, but for stock tanks didn't exist, so I made it. And yeah, it just keeps all sorts of dirt, debris, all sorts of stuff out of the stock tank. We do a blog about once a month, and that just kind of talks about different case uses for stock tanks, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, go to polarprotector.com if you want to find more about our products and our different uses for stuff. This is our mesh insert that cleans stock tanks in an instant. You put it in animals. That was kind of one of our biggest complaints was like, we love this idea, but my horse can't drink out of the stock tank with a cover on it, Nick. Like we need something a little bit better. So I was like, okay, let my brain start thinking. And I invented and patented an insert that goes into stock tanks. It has a sinkable mesh, goes underneath the water line. Horses right here can drink out of it just fine. And hay gets in there, dirt, all this, gross stuff gets in there. You just take it off, fling it, and put it right back on, and cleans the stock tank in 5 seconds.
Brilliant, 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 brilliant. Great ideas, great innovations, and it's nice to have a product development. So I was thinking about, I've got a little bit of experience in it, but product management, that's really what you're doing. You're creating a product and inventing but you're really managing a product. You're going through and creating new features and new releases and doing those things. So what I heard was you guys can do custom orders and you can actually print the logo and you'll need a printer. Okay, like you can get that through you. Gotcha.
Absolutely.
All right. So if someone was watching this and wanted to network with you, tell us the best way to tell us the name of your company again, best way to get a hold of you, and anything else you want to share.
Yeah, you can get a hold of me, polarprotector.com, Nick at Polar Protector. If you want to shoot me an email, you follow all of our socials. We have TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, just at Polar Protector.
Great. Great. Anything else you want to share with us today, Nick?
That's it, Dr. Mike. It was awesome.
Great. Again, Dr. Mike Smith from Action Coach, and we're here on the Business Spotlight for the great business stories of St. Louis. Thanks again, Nick, for being on here, and look forward to your future.
Thank you. Appreciate it.